Hello friends, in this video we will explore together few basics of Krita. So first, what is Krita? Krita is an application that allows us to draw and animate. It's a free and an open source application. We can download it from Krita's official website and then can install it on our computer. Second, how we can communicate or interact with Krita. We can interact with Krita in two ways through hardware interface and software interface. For example, USB port is a hardware interface. As you know, to draw an image, we will need graphics tablet and we will insert wire of our tablet in USB port, and this way we will get connected with our computer and Krita as well. Now, software interface. So the whole visible window you can see is software interface. Since Krita is a software, so we can address this interface as Krita's interface. And this interface is composed of few components. Now, let's explore the components of Krita's interface. First, traditional file and action menu at the top of the interface. It includes few tabs: File, Edit, View, Image, etc. These are called action menus. I'm clicking on File menu. As I click on, you can see a drop-down list where you can see file-related actions like Open for opening existing files, Save as, Export, etc. And these actions, as you can see from here, have corresponding shortcut keys which you can find on keyboard, and also corresponding tools. For example, new, save as, open. You will get these actions over here in the toolbar. So this is called toolbar, another component of Krita's interface. We will come back at it later. I just want to show you that this toolbar has actions for creating new document, opening existing document, and saving file. Now let's look at the edit menu. Edit menu has edit related actions over here: cut, copy, paste, clear, etc. Next, view. View doesn't change anything in the file, but it changes our perspective, how we see our file. From here, we can, by full screen mode, what we can do, we can change the view. Then, image. Image has image related actions. Over here, we can see properties. The width of the image is 1920, height is 1280, etc. And the resolution. Then we can rotate our canvas by clicking on rotate image 90° to the right, or clicking any of these options. For example, I'm just clicking on this, and you see the canvas has been changed. And this canvas is also an important component because we do our artwork here. And I'm pressing Ctrl Z on my keyboard, and I am undoing my action. Then I can do a lot of image related things over here. Resize canvas. So changing the parameters here, I can also resize the canvas. I can make it larger or smaller. And layer has layer related actions like cut layer, copy layer, paste layer, new layer, and you will get this corresponding actions over here in the layer panel. Then select. Select has select related options, as you can see. Then filter for giving effect to your artwork. You can give your artwork artistic effect, blur effect, color effect. So you can do a lot of things from here. And setting. The setting has setting related options where you can configure your settings. But I feel that as beginners, if we just keep these at their own state, it's better. And sometimes you will need to change settings of Docker, but the setting has been done already here. And then window. I'm clicking on it, And as you can see, here are window related actions. And I'm just pointing here on workspace because it's important, and often we will need to change the workspace for convenience of our work. And what is workspace? We will learn about workspace after we complete our exploration of the components. This is another tab where you can access Krita's handbook, and other options are here which you can explore later if you really like to explore. So this is toolbar, which is another component of Krita's interface. And you can see over here symbols and options for our repeated words or the words we do over and again. I have already talked about these actions. Now this is an action for fill gradient. Gradient refers to the transition of colors, smooth transition of colors, and we will see it later. And this option is for setting foreground and background color. This is the edit brush setting. I'm clicking it. As you can see, a dialog box appears. There are many parameters over here for setting diameter, ratio, horizontal, vertical, angle, spikes, and there are lots of options over here. And another action menu is choose brush preset. As you click on it, you can see that there are many brushes and you can choose brushes from here, and this corresponding brushes you will get also in this panel over here. Now this is an action menu for blending mode. Again, these are used for giving effects to your artwork. And this is for opacity and changing the parameters. You can actually increase or decrease the opacity of your color, and this parameter is for size. And using this you can change your brush's tip. If you increase the size, your brush's tip will get increased, and if you just decrease it, your brush's tip will get smaller. And now again, clicking on Control Z from my keyboard, I am undoing my actions. Also, I am redoing my actions by clicking Control Shift Z, redoing my actions. And I can also get rid all of these at once. I can go to edit and I can click clear, and you see everything is gone. And these options are for mirroring. If you just click over here, you can select options from here. This is horizontal mirror and this is vertical mirror. Let's see how it works. So I'm clicking this horizontal mirror tool, and with this I will draw something symmetrical. So what is symmetrical? Symmetrical is something that has similar sides. So as you can see that both sides are similar. Okay, so we can actually create many patterns with this beautiful option. Now I'm going to edit and clicking clear. Now let's look at this. This is a wraparound mode, and clicking on this. So as you can see, it has increased my canvas, and there is no gap. And let's explore other two components of Krita's interface, the long thin vertical bar and the wide vertical bar. So these are called sidebars, and these sidebars include movable dockers. So movable dockers and panels are dockers or panels which you can move. So I'm moving this panel for advanced color selector. So as you can see, I can pop out, I can pop in. I can also place this here. and the sidebar is now here at the top of the interface. So its layer panel, I can pop out. I can also move it in its former place. And you can see row of dots, and placing my cursor on the row of dots, I can change the size. And another component is this long thin bar, which is a status bar. And over here, you can see the status of file, and the color is in RGB mode, RGB color mode. And you can see the dimensions over here, and also it lets you zoom in and zoom out your canvas. Oh, so I told you that I will tell you the little difference between interface and workspace. Interface is everything that you can see. So the whole visible window is Krita's interface, which includes words, symbols, parameters, dockers, panels, canvas, etc. I have changed the arrangement of the interface, and workspace is the arrangement of the interface. Since we have done changes here and we want to get back to our former workspace, so what we can do? We can click on here and we can choose default. And you see, again, we have got our default workspace. Okay. Now let's look at the colors. So this is advanced color selector, and I'm just increasing its size. There is a triangular shape and a circle. Pressing your cursor, you can actually see the changes over here, and you can then get to see different shades of the color. At first it may seem complicated. You may think in your mind, how can I choose a color from here, because when I press something then different shades come, and how I can keep the record of my chosen colors. So in that case, for example, I'm clicking on this shade and you can see more shades appear. And from here, if I want to keep track of my chosen color, first I have to choose a shade from these bars, thin bars. So I'm choosing this color, and you see it has got selected here. And I also used these colors before, so this colors also got selected too. And for example, I want to get rid of all of these colors. So what I can do, I can just click on clear all color history, and I have got rid of these colors. And I can click here and press clear. Okay. And now layers. Layers are like transparent sheets. For example, I'm just deleting everything, so you can see this is a transparent sheet, and there is no color in this layer. And when I add a layer, so what happens when you add layers? It means the former layers go downward and the current layer is at the top. For example, I'm drawing something, so you can see the layer beneath can be seen. For this reason, it's better to give background color to the layer, and we can do it very easily with this, the tool for pillar selection. Okay, now let's look at the brush presets. There are lots of brush presets or engines you can see. For example, you want to choose this brush for your drawing. Okay, I'm changing the color. And the name of it is charcoal pencil large. I want to choose this brush engine, which is watercolor texture. And from here, I want to choose this brush engine. So we can choose brush engines from these options, but as we will choose and go downward, we may forget which brushes this represents. So to avoid these problems, we can do one thing. When we choose a brush, we can tag it. So most of the time, what I do, I tag it with this option, my favorite. So how I do it, let's see. For example, I have chosen this particular brush. So what I can do, I can assign it to tag my favorite. Okay, so now if we just go to my favorite, and you can see this one, I have tagged these brushes before, so these are here, and I can remove this from my favorite. So what I can do, remove from this tag, so it's gone. Okay, I'm again choosing the option all. There are many brush engines. At times, you may want to look all the brushes at once or simultaneously. In that case, you can. So this way, you can increase the size. And looking at these symbols, you can choose which brush you want to use in your artwork. Now I'm again clicking Window, Workspace, Default. So now I will erase these curves and shapes, and I'm increasing parameter of size. And from here, I am choosing eraser circle. And as I erase, just notice what's happening. My background color is getting removed. So when I do anything on my background and then I erase it, even it erases the background color. So drawing on background is a risky thing. So what we can do, I'm showing you. So I'm again undoing all these things. So I have drawn a curve, and now if I erase it, let's see what happens. So I'm increasing the size again, and just look. So it only erases the object from the current layer, and nothing happens in the background layer. So if we draw something, it's a better way to draw on other layers so that the background layer doesn't get disturbed. Okay, now I'm deleting everything and choosing a background color, which is a light color, and I'm clicking on this specific tool. Okay, so why it's not filling the area with color? Because my eraser circle is selected and we have to deselect it by choosing another brush engine. So I am just clicking this fill tool and we get a new background. Now I'm adding another layer, and on this layer we will look at the functions of these tools. These four tools that you can see: select shapes tool, text tool, edit shapes tool, and calligraphy. These tools don't work on this paint or raster layer. We have to add a vector layer because these specific tools work on vector layers. So now I will use this calligraphy tool and write something over here on Krita's canvas. Okay. Today my writing or drawing won't be that good because I am using my mouse to write or draw, and I'm not using graphics tablet today. Now I will select edit shapes tool. So using this tool, I can actually change shape. So now I'm using this select shapes tool and I will select this whole word or calligraphy, and now I can move it. I can move it, I can place it wherever I want on canvas. And clicking delete on my keyboard, I can get rid of this. Now let's explore other tools. So this is freehand brush tool, and using this tool we can draw anything freely the way we draw or paint in our art papers. So after selecting it, I can also select from here brush presets. So I'm selecting this one. So I'm making a stroke, and this is line tool, and this is rectangular tool. I'm selecting these and I can draw rectangular shape using this, and I'm just minimizing the parameter of size. Now I'm selecting this ellipse tool. Ellipse means a regular oval shape, and I'm clicking it, and over here I'm drawing a regular oval shape, and with this ellipse tool I can draw a regular circle shape. Now let's look at the polygon tool. It says shift mouse click ends the polygon. So to end the polygon tool, what we can do, we can click on shift from our keyboard, and then we can mouse click to end the polygon. Now let's look how we can draw polygon shape. Okay, so this is for polyline. Let's draw it. Polyline means more than one line. So this creates actually series of straight lines. And we can also close it. Okay. Now this is Bezier curve tool. We will now click on canvas and we get an anchor point. So anchor point is a particular point around which we can move something. As you can see, I can move a line, and now when I'm dragging the line, it's making a curve, and this is the point you can see is control point, and this is a line with series of dots is called control line. So control point, control line, and manipulating this control point we can play with the path. So this is the path, the curved path. So this is another anchor point, and look, around this anchor point I can rotate this path. Okay, and now I will double click here, and now my shape is ready. And this is freehand path tool. It means we can freely draw any path we want with this freehand path tool. And this is dynamic brush tool. We can just create path. We can create any stroke we want with this dynamic brush tool. Okay. And now comes multi-brush tool. This is interesting. So I'm taking a different color Do you see this multiple brush tool? It simultaneously activates other three tools, same shapes at same distance. Isn't it cool? Okay. So these three tools are for transforming and moving. So let's see what we can do with these tools. So transform a layer or a selection. So we can transform a layer. So this is a whole layer. Okay. Or we can also transform a selection. On this layer, I have drawn these shapes. So when I draw anything on layer, it becomes a part of that layer. And when I select it, you can see all these shapes and lines have got selected. So now with transform tool, I'm just minimizing it. So clicking shift alter from my keyboard, I have minimized it. Now what else I can do? So when I click right button of my mouse, a pop-up box comes and I can explore these options. I'm choosing free and let's see what happens. Perspective. Using perspective, you can see that what I can do with perspective, I can change the view. Do you see? I have changed my view with this perspective, and by clicking Ctrl Z, I have come to same shape again. I have made things like before. So now warp, how it works, let's see. So warp is something that creates an effect like a folding paper or a cloth. So you can also explore these tools to see what kinds of effects they create. Okay. And now I will move this layer. So this way I'm moving this layer. Layer or the selection. Now this is crop the image to an area. So we can crop this image. So we can crop this image and click enter. And you see whole image has got cropped. So clicking Ctrl Z, I have made everything like before. Now I'm showing you if we just want to transform, move, or edit just one shape. In that case, what we can do. So I have taken another layer, but you don't understand the difference, right? Since I'm in this layer, and how I will understand that I'm in this layer, because when I will try to move anything, they won't move. Just look. So I'm taking another layer to show you how we can move or change or edit or transform individual object or shape. So now I'm in this layer, but everything is like before, though I have taken a new layer. Why? Because as I have told you, all the layers are like thin transparent sheet, so we can still see the background layer because we fill the background layer with the color, right? And we can also see the second layer too, which is here. So now what we can do, since we want to work on this layer and we don't want to see this layer, how we can actually work with just one shape on a different layer individually. So in that case, what we can do, we can toggle this eye off. So it's there, but we have just hidden this layer. And now let's look. Now I can transform it, and what else I can do? I can rotate it like this, and clicking on right button of my mouse, I can bring the pop-up box and I can, using free, change its shape. Now perspective, with perspective I can change the view. Now warp, what we can do, we can fold the lines with warp. Now I can also do what? I can liquefy. So I'm giving it a different effect with liquefy option. Okay. And now with this tool, I can move this. So if you want to move your object or transform your objects individually, then you have to create or draw them on individual layers. Now I want to draw a gradient. So gradient means a smooth transition of color. So I'm choosing a color, this, dragging. Now I'm undoing this gradient with Ctrl Z. Okay. So let's look at this tool, Colorize Mask tool. It has created a different effect, as you can see, a gray effect, kind of gray effect. Now let's look at this Smart Patch tool. Now this tool is for fill a contiguous area of color with a color or fill a selection. So I can select anything. For example, I want to, okay, this is my selection and I want to fill it with a color. So I'm taking this color and I'm filling it like this. So let's see, when I click it here, what happens. So it actually fills everything. Why? Because this shape is not closed. Okay. So what I have to do, enclose and fill. So I'm taking another shape. So as I enclose my shape with this tool, it will automatically fill the shape. Okay. So it has filled the shape with a color. It's kind of magical. So let's look at these tools, which are selection tools. Okay, so this is a selection tool and how it works. It selects a particular area, okay, but it doesn't create a shape, and I find it interesting, and let's see what we can do with it. Clicking on this freehand brush tool and look. It means when I select an area, it keeps my artwork within that area. I'm again taking another shape and look. I can also fill an area with color. And now let's look at this polygon selection tool. So I have selected this particular area and I'm taking this color and look. So how I can deselect it? So I can deselect it by going to selection tab and clicking on deselect. Now, as you can see, it's free from any selection. And with this tool, we can do freehand selection. Okay. So now let's look at this tool. With this span tool, what we can do, we can actually move our canvas. And using this zoom tool, we can zoom in our canvas. We can also click on a plus sign from our keyboard to zoom, and also we can click minus sign from our keyboard to zoom out. Okay. And if we want to rotate this canvas, we can do another thing on our keyboard. We can press Ctrl third bracket facing rightward. It makes our canvas rotate anti-clockwise. If we want to rotate our canvas clockwise, so we have to click Ctrl third bracket looking leftward. We can do also another thing. We can just click on our keyboard 4 and it rotates our canvas anti-clockwise, and we can also click on our keyboard 6 and it rotates our canvas clockwise. Also from here we can rotate our canvas, and we can also zoom in or zoom out our canvas by changing parameters over here. So these were a few basics of Krita, which are really easy. If you have liked my video and found it useful, then you can subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you.